Alright, so it took me a while to start making this review. We didn't expect that this December the Seed of God ministry would be so jam-packed in our schedule for the entire month. So with our book lunch in the first week of December of this first book that we published, this Josephology, a concise biblical exegesis on Saint Joseph, the book promotions that we have been doing as well. Luckily, I managed to have this time to record this video review of this NASB giant print reference Bible from Holman. So click that like button, type in any comment, and finally click on that subscribe button. It would be fun. Don't forget that notification bell. You'll be updated every time we are up and about. So, shall we? Hello friends, this is Christopher Nino Arca from the Seed of God Ministry, Archdiocese of Manila. And now you are watching our Bible review program. So, quick tip. This review is long overdue since we received this Bible from Holman last November. Might I forget, this Bible was sent to us for free in exchange for an honest review. So let's get right into it. This is quite an impressive New American Standard that Holman actually released. The first version of this being released when, let me show you the copyright page. Its first version being released 2022. This version being released 2022. This is the timestamp at the bottom. First edition being released 2022. Since we are now in 2025, it's not yet here, but this Bible belongs to the third batch printed 2024. So, meaning to say that this specific Bible was reprinted the third time already. This Bible probably quickly sells then. So look at the I just showed you the time chart at the copyright page. Unlike this personal size, which was just first copyrighted and released this year, well, it goes to show that this giant print has been around for a couple of years and is probably selling really good, selling like hotcake. Well, as you can see, it is pretty obvious. It ain't a Holman handcrafted collection piece, but this thing is quite a work of art. It took me a while to unstick the pages and break in this Bible, and take a look on how this Bible actually still holds. It still fights. Well, this actually made me think, when will Holman actually would put this new giant print version with the new versions of the KJV and the CSB, which are all both giant print, alright, mind you. And a version of this NAS with this two here would really make a sizable army to battle among the premium Bible brands as well. It would rival them, definitely. This is a pretty neat Bible, if you ask me. Consider this. Consider this. Having a presentable two-piece box, quite similar to that of the NAS personal size. The utility of this Bible is quite impressive. If you ask me, the details here at the back, you could pause this video if you'd like to read the details here. And here is the ISBN number, retailing probably at $79.99. And here is also the link where you could take a look. If you'd like to purchase, you could use this link also as well. So let's get right to it. Let's move on to the show. This is a very distinguishing look for an NASB, simple yet striking. If you compare this giant print with the personal size giant print, there is a little difference here and there in regards to the length and the width. Let me show that to you. So here at the top we have the personal size, and here we have the giant print at the bottom. If you take a look at the length, and the width, there's quite a difference here. Well, it is those little differences that actually matters, but it is when you consider tagging this Bible along, and making this your carry Bible. I mean, if you're planning of getting this and already have this little buddy here, you might consider its utility in certain areas. Make this your workhorse or preaching Bible, while this little guy here your travel buddy. Not unless you want something smaller, like this compact giant print. Mind you, all these guys have the same pagination and layout. You won't get lost whichever you are opening in a certain point. For me, that is something. I make one of them my reader for a day. I just flip the pages of the rest of these guys, which I would read from some other time. Pick up where you left off from the other guys here. Alright, so let's get inside this Bible and let me show you what we are dealing with here. First off, this has a really shiny and grainy leather, and as you can still smell the scent of the leather, you could still actually smell the scent of the leather. For any leather lovers watching this, you definitely know what I'm saying. Personally, this looks like an executive type Bible. Perimeter stitching, fairly decent. I'd like to show that to you, the perimeter stitching. The gold stamping at the spine, inset style. It is not just stamped on the surface where the gold can easily be rubbed off. We have tooled line hubs, 1, 2, and 3. Nothing fancy, a straight to the point Bible. And here we also have black head and tail bands there, and we also have one ribbon marker measuring 2 inches in excess, but I just lengthened here for a short while, because actually if you keep this tucked tight into the pages, it would damage the paper. And just to give you the dimension of the text block, here we have 6.5 inches wide, length 9 3/4 inches, and the thickness is 1.5 inch thick. This is a Smith sewn binding, and this has a paste down liner construction. But I do believe that the liner that they used here, the material is vinyl or vinyl, whichever you like to pronounce that. But I'd like to show you something here, guys. Well, I'm not sure if it's showing here in the camera, but in the naked eye, I could definitely see a tab here. So probably this is also a edge lined and not paste down construction. Well, in any case, if you would like to have a copy of this one, you might want to take a look for yourself also as well. And then we move on to the simple presentation page, title page, and I just showed you earlier the copyright page, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 binding options, and we have the table of contents, and we have the foreword, and also the preface to the translation. We have the explanation of general format, and then finally we have the abbreviations and special markings, and right here we are now in the text block itself, the Old Testament. The print quality here is very consistent and astounding. Like what I said earlier, you won't miss anything here. Layout, pagination, very similar to the personal size giant print and also the compact. What's nice about this is even though there are no colored accents, here, you could still navigate yourself. Verse numbers are easy to spot. For the NAS translation, the words in italics are added words not included in the original languages. Well, that's supposed to make the reading experience very smooth and the text understandable. We have a very decent paper here, not much of a ghosting. Even then, the texts here are perfectly line matched. And for a full page, we have 47 lines in a column measuring 6 1/3 centimeters, 34 characters per line, including spaces and punctuation marks. The font size advertised here is a 13-point type size. Excellent reading for those with eye problems. I like how neat the print and the layout of this Bible is. The page doesn't show any signs of busyness. The texts are not cramped, making this Bible very easy to read for a 2-column format paragraph. Okay, so the margins here, there's nothing much to write on except to mark up your Bible. Okay. The spaces in between the columns is 5 millimeters. For the inner margin, it's 15 millimeters. For me, I like this. The space of the inner margin pushes the text away from the gutter, making the reading experience easier. Take a look at the poetry here. Take a look at the poetry. Very nice, classic format. Oh, I almost forgot. There ain't any book introductions in any of the books here. References? Mind you, the references are at the... Oh, sorry about that. The references are at the bottom right column. And still easy to navigate because of the font size of the footnotes as well. And then moving on to the New Testament, words of Christ here are in red. I like the shade of red used here. And any references to the Old Testament, they are printed in all caps. Let me share with you an example here. Like this one. You shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only. So all references to the Old Testament are printed in all caps. The red letter here is done quite right. The red is not very loud, definitely a dark shade of red. Moving on to the Revelations, right after the book of Revelations, we have the We have the topical index. After the topical index, we have a blank page, and then we have here 8 Holman maps. And then we have the end sheet here. Alright, so this Bible is a very useful tool for study and sermon prep. The text is very easy to read, which makes this Bible really good for sermon preparation and for preaching. Tools like study notes and commentaries are good as an aid in sermon preparation and studies, but having an excellent text presented this way is far more important. The presentation of the text is actually important. The text being readable and being laid out well, this Bible will definitely make it as a part of the preaching Bible routine that I have. Holman, I would love to have this edition to have the HHC, the Holman handcrafted treatment. This will definitely sell like hotcakes, being in the HHC also. So links where to purchase will be typed in down below. Keep calm and Jesus on. Keep safe and God bless. Again, this is Christopher Nino Arca signing off.